It has been a year since that massive wildfire devastated Fort McMurray, and while reconstruction is ramping up, the road to recovery has been grueling.
It will be a long time before the city is completely rebuilt.
Rebuilding is occurring at an excellent pace, but we do expect it'll be in the 3 to 5 year range.
The levels of loss and stages of rebuilding throughout Fort McMurray are varied. More than 2,500 homes were lost in the blaze. Now more than 600 building permits have been reissued. Some locals hoping to rebuild have faced delays for many reasons.
Other people are struggling with insurance and all the picky financial details of what has happened.
Yesterday, we heard from firefighter Damian Asher, who wrote the book Inside the Inferno. While he was fighting the fire, his own home burned to the ground. He's now rebuilding on the same lot.
I had a chance to spend some time in Fort McMurray last week. I spoke to Damian about the process of rebuilding. So this is the rebuild. Are you rebuilding the same house?
Same house.
While you were fighting the fire, you got word that your neighborhood was being threatened, and you had to make the choice in the moment whether to come here and save this house that you had lovingly built with your own hands, or continue to fight the fire. And you made the choice to continue to fight it somewhere else.
It's knowing fire behavior, knowing what was happening, right? The fire that was heading out this way, there was no means one truck could make a difference. So there was call for help in other areas where the houses are closer together, and there was more need out there for our truck. So we had to go to that location.
What were you thinking about when you walked around the perimeter of what used to be your house?
Looking at what we lost was more than anything, trying to remember what was there, what wasn't there, and how we would go forward, right? If there's anything savable, not savable, is it worth having a look, or is it just you wipe your hands of it?
Well, one of the things that you did find was this, right? This is your wedding ring.
My wedding ring, yeah.
And you had taken it off before shift?
Yeah, out of everything, my wife and I, we had our rings custom made, but it was one thing that was irreplaceable, so it was the one thing that I did want to find.
And you did. Is there anything that you miss?
You miss everything. Everything you miss, right? You've lost everything, your whole world possessions. There isn't a day goes by that you go to grab something that you know you have, but you no longer have it, right? There's days that I've gone around looking for something, saying, geez, I know I got that, but when was the last time I saw it? Oh, it was before the fire. I don't have it anymore, right? So there's
daily reminders.
Yeah, you forget what you have and what you don't have, right? Until it comes time that you need that. Things that are hard is, for my wife, we bought her years ago a Pandora bracelet. So every year, Christmas, birthday, the kids would buy another charm and add to it, and that's gone. So you can't do that anymore, right? You just can't add to those things.
Was there ever a thought in your mind to not rebuild or to rebuild somewhere else?
There was a thought of, what is life going to be moving on, for sure, right? As lots of people in McMurray are, right? Some people are just up and leaving, don't want to come back. This has always been home for me. I enjoy everything it has to offer.
You said in the book that this town, Fort McMurray, where you've been for generations, will not fully recover until your kids are senior citizens. What are some of the differences that you notice around the town now?
The biggest thing is going to be a tree, for example. Right? If you look at our property, we had 150-foot trees all around our property. That doesn't grow in 3 or 5 years. That's going to take decades to regrow a tree. Hiking trails that you knew, quadding trails that you knew, areas that you were used to spending time in will never be the same. McMurray itself, the city, will replenish itself. Things will get put back together, but those hillsides with all the burnt trees and everything, they'll never look the same.
What's the biggest loss for you?
Biggest loss for me would be the time my family's lost. Their possessions, their worldly possessions, everything that they knew that they had, the kids and stuff like that, still look for stuff every now and then, right? So It's time away from the home, it's time moving on with a life. We had the house finished last year. I was getting ready to landscape. It was all done and it was supposed to be an easy life from there, and now we're back into a construction phase. So trying to play the role between father and contractor and firefighter is tough, right? They lose a lot of time away from me, so that's hard.
Let me end with what's the most hopeful thing for you?
The most hopeful thing is everybody getting back to the life that they had, right? I don't want to see everybody have a bad scar on McMurray. It's you know, people chose to call it home because of what it is, and lots have returned. And I hope to see everybody return and Fort McMurray to stay what it was.
It is a community that is indeed Fort Mac strong. I want to thank Damian for sharing his story with us. His book, Inside the Inferno, is on sale right now.